Hello, dear friends. Today I return with a new story, and I believe you will gain something meaningful from this video. Did you know that from just one bonsai tree, we can create many different versions? Because a work that feels complete to one person can become the starting point of inspiration for another, reborn with new emotions and a new spirit. And in bonsai, perhaps the most fascinating thing is not only the tree itself, but how that tree is presented. Part 1. Upgrading a bonsai to create emotional elevation. Sometimes, only a few small changes are needed. A new pot, a taller stand, a different viewing angle, a layer of reflected light. And suddenly, an ordinary tree transforms into a completely new version, one that surprises the viewer and gently lifts the emotions. When a bonsai is successfully upgraded, it is not only your feelings that change, its market value often rises dramatically as well. I say this not as theory, but from daily reality, within the bonsai community and among ornamental plant traders. There are trees that look very ordinary, like a country girl, simple, rustic, gentle. Everyone finds her lovely, but not truly outstanding. Yet with the right pot, one that matches her character. Placed on a beautiful stand, mounted on an old brick base or a slightly moss-covered stone slab, and displayed with thoughtful light reflection. In that moment, the tree feels as if it has changed clothes. From a simple country girl, it becomes a radiant beauty, beautiful, distinctive, full of presence. And do you know what happens next? The value of the tree increases many times over. Not because the seller performs magic, but because this new version reveals a level of beauty that was always there, now elevated, sometimes even transformed. Professional bonsai dealers understand this very well. They often purchase unfinished or partially formed trees. Then, with only minor adjustments, pruning branches, trimming the apex, working the roots, adding companion saplings, changing the pot, changing the stand, adding miniature landscapes, or simply adjusting light reflection. That is enough to turn an ordinary tree into a work of art with a story, a new character, and new emotions. Buyers are not only paying for the tree itself, they are willing to pay for the most beautiful version of that tree, for the emotions it now carries, for the radiance it never had before. And that is why, in the art of bonsai, even a very small change can create a huge leap in value. The work becomes more valuable, both materially and emotionally. That is why we say, upgrading a bonsai version is not only an art, it is also a skill, one that elevates value. In Eastern aesthetics, there is a profound saying, beauty does not lie in the scenery itself, but in the way it is seen. The same is true in bonsai. The tree remains the same tree, but the viewer's gaze changes, the soul changes, the emotions change. Just like an artist who, by altering the props, the lighting, and the setting, can tell a completely new story. Part 2. Common ways to upgrade a bonsai. Mod. Reshaping branches, working the roots, defoliation, and pruning. When the tree returns to its original state, one of the most emotionally powerful transformations is defoliation. When the leaves are removed, the branches are no longer hidden. We begin to see the true framework of the tree, the movement of the trunk, the rhythm of the branches, the mature structure formed over time. Scars appear. Old cuts reveal themselves. The marks of years of care, struggle, and survival are suddenly visible. The strength of the tree, its health, its clear lines, and the quiet traces of time, all things once hidden beneath dense foliage. In that moment, the tree feels like a character shedding its outer layer and revealing its truest self. Ancient, weathered, rustic, yet still alive, with powerful vitality resting beneath the surface. This is also one of the most suitable moments for bonsai enthusiasts to create artistic photographs or films, a way to preserve the soul of the tree in its purest form. Repotting, the second soul of a bonsai. If the trunk is the soul of a bonsai, then the pot is its clothing, the layer that defines its character. An antique glazed pot gives the tree a nostalgic, time-worn feeling. A terracotta pot brings a sense of tradition and earth. A round pot softens the presence of the tree. A square pot adds strength, clarity, and decisiveness. When a bonsai is repotted correctly, it is like a person wearing the perfect outfit. Nothing about the tree has changed, yet suddenly it becomes deeply captivating. 3. Changing the pot stand. When the launch pad shapes the character. Few people realize this, but the pot stand, though seemingly simple, is a powerful element in bonsai presentation. The right stand elevates the work, making it feel more dignified, more refined, and more valuable. When a tree is placed directly on the ground, its viewing angle is limited. Traditionally, large bonsai are displayed on concrete pedestals. But with miniature bonsai, the possibilities are far more diverse. Stone, wood, ceramic, each material creates a different atmosphere, awakening a new visual rhythm and drawing the viewer's gaze upward. 4. Combining bricks, stones, moss, and miniature landscapes. Sometimes only a few old bricks, a moss-covered stone slab, or a miniature gate, pavilion, or well are enough. In an instant, the viewer is transported into a miniature world. At this stage, the bonsai no longer stands alone. It begins to tell a story of old houses, of quiet courtyards, of familiar fences and simple memories that echo from childhood. This is the moment when bonsai becomes more than an artwork. It becomes a lived experience. The most valuable moment of all is when the viewer sees themselves in that story. When that happens, emotion reaches its highest point. Changing the placement, a shift in perspective. Sometimes nothing needs to be changed except the position. Rotate the pot slightly, move it to another space, and the feeling changes immediately. Placed in the shade, the tree feels calm and meditative. Near a window, reflected light brings energy and life. In a tiled courtyard, a sense of closeness and familiarity emerges. On a wooden table, the atmosphere becomes classic and elegant. One tree, countless settings. And in each setting, a completely different emotion is born. Light and the timing of viewing. Light can be understood as the natural filter of bonsai. It is light that quietly shapes emotion. At different moments of the day, the same tree reveals completely different nuances. In the morning, the leaves appear fresher, greener, full of life. At dawn, when morning dew slowly evaporates, tiny drops remain on the leaves. Under reflected sunlight, they shimmer gently, clear, delicate, and pure. At midday, especially between 11 and 1, the shadows become sharper. Light and shadow carve the form, clearly emphasizing the strength, the structure, and the elegant lines of the branches. At dusk, as the sun begins to set, a feeling of nostalgia quietly settles in. The tree seems calmer, more contemplative, as if carrying memories of time. At night, under artificial light, the bonsai becomes mysterious. The artistry feels elevated, refined, and deeply expressive. Within a single day, one living bonsai can reveal many versions of itself, many emotions, many stories. Conclusion: why small changes create unexpected euphoria. Ladies and gentlemen, bonsai is, in many ways, a minimalist art. Simple in form, yet rich in emotion. We adjust the tree, we reshape it, we prune the branches, or sometimes we change only the surrounding environment. And in that instant, emotion is amplified. In reality, the beauty of bonsai does not lie solely in the tree itself. It lies in how we cherish it, how we present it, and how we choose to see it. By changing perspective, we create an entirely new work of art. And that is why bonsai continues to bring unexpected, deeply evocative emotions to those who truly look. We will end this video here. If you enjoyed this journey, please subscribe to support the channel and share this video with those who love bonsai as you do. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you again.